Hello everyone, and in this video I will be reviewing my 2016 Volkswagen Polo GTI. So this is going to be a very similar format to the video I just made of my Lexus ES300. So basically what I'll be doing, just reviewing the car, giving my driving impressions or like thoughts on its driving ability and everything, and obviously doing an exhaust thing at the end. Literally the perfect daily. It is a little bit too small if anything, but it's a very good size, it's very good fuel, and it's a very, very fun driving experience. So yeah, I mean, this car's very misunderstood. I think everyone's like, oh yeah, it's just like a poor man's Golf GTI, which isn't necessarily true. I could have gotten a Golf GTI. I just prefer the Polo GTI because it's a different kind of format. So I suppose it is a slightly worse version of the Golf GTI, because I have driven a Mark 7 Golf GTI and it does feel more planted, it is faster and all that, but the Polo GTI is just, it's got its own kind of like characteristics, so to say. I mean, from the exterior I've done, well, no mods to it. It's very, very stock. If anything, the wheels are really badly rim rushed. Previous owner, not me. Obviously you've got the luxury pack, and it's a fully optioned car. The only thing it doesn't have is parking sensors, but other than that it's got everything. It's got the LED headlights, it's got the sunroof, it's got the leather and Alcantara interior. It's a very, very, very nice, it's just very nicely optioned. So for those who don't know, this is the Polo GTI 6C. Now this is the 1.8 litre turbo. So the predecessor to this, the 6R, had the 1.4 litre turbo supercharged engine, which was known for being very unreliable. So obviously they fixed that with the facelift, the 6C, and they put the 1.8 litre in it, which very barely fits. In fact, there was like no room in the front, so they had to put the battery in the rear of the car just because of like how little space it is. It is a Polo, so it's a bit hard to squeeze a 1.8 litre engine in it, but they managed, and it goes. It's a very, very fun car to drive, I'll say that much. Let's get started with the interior. So I apologize for the mess. All of my cars are a bit filthy at the moment, so there are many apologies on that front, but when you're in the car, if you've been in a regular Polo, this basically is the same. It's very small, it's a very small car. I'll just say that much. It is a tiny car. Very, very small, but it suits the needs of many, many people, including myself. Also, ignore the tacky GDI badge there. I mean, the interior, obviously you've got these nice leather and Alcantara seats, they are very nice. Obviously it's part of the luxury pack. The luxury pack also comes with heated seats. And also this isn't part of it, this is a separate option, the sport mode. It basically allows for the suspension it's active dampeners, so they'll stiffen up when you push that button. Also you get a little bit more throttle response, and the steering's a bit more direct as well, which is very nice. You've got the infotainment system here, and then got the AC controls there. Mine's a manual as well, so it's a 6-speed manual. It's a very, very nice gearbox. It's very easy to drive as well, extremely easy. And yeah, apologies for the mess as well. It's absolutely atrocious. So yeah, you got the 3 pedals, of course, needs to be manual. The 6R didn't actually come with a manual option, the 6C did, and then for the AW they went back to just DSG, which is a bit bizarre, I think, but yeah, no, it's manual, so that means it's more fun to drive as well. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I absolutely love driving it. It's very, very entertaining. In terms of the rear space, well, I mean, there's basically none. Fitting 5 people in this car is impossible. And in terms of luggage space, I mean, it fits quite a lot. When I say quite a lot, it fits quite a lot for a car of this size, to be honest. But yeah, everything is a mess at this car in the moment. You step into the driver's seat, you are greeted with this lovely GTI steering wheel. It's very, very nice to hold. It's a very premium feeling steering wheel wrapped in leather. Very, very nice. Then obviously if you turn the ignition on, then I need to service the car. But you've got all these different modes. So you've got lap timer, you've got vehicle status, it'll say service now, you've got telephone controls, audio, driving data, so you can go through these. You can see average speed, driving time, range, consumption, oil temperature, all of that fun stuff. And then obviously moving here, it's just your standard Volkswagen infotainment system. So it's a little bit dated now, but it still works very well. So you can go through all the settings and all of that, which is very nice. Then air conditioning works like that, which is very good. And yeah, that's basically it. Okay, so under here you've got the 1.8 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder, which is it packs a punch for what it is. It's actually really good. So obviously there is quite a lot of turbo lag, so you put your foot down, it'll take a little bit and then it will just whoosh, like it goes off. It's very, very good. But yeah, it's very, very crammed inside, obviously, because it's a 1.8 in a Polo, which obviously the standard model comes with 1.2 litre, so quite a considerable size difference between the two engine configurations. But yeah, I mean, they've pretty much used all of their available space. So, I mean, there's not really much to show. My apologies, when I rev it, it's got a soft limiter, so it only lets me go up to 4 grand. So, I mean, it's a pretty, it's not like my Lexus, which makes a completely unique noise. This is a pretty standard, like, Polo noise, but I'll still demonstrate it anyway. There we go. Okay, so let's get into this. Fortunately, we've got some pretty terrible weather, but I did take this car to McCar's Creek just to test out obviously the dynamic performance of this car, because, well, obviously people buy a GTI for the performance. Also, apologies if the video quality is a little bit bumpy. Actually, I'll turn it off sport mode so it's a little smoother, but yeah, no, this road's pretty shocking. So the way this car feels to drive, if it's not in sport mode, which I never ever drive it just without the sport mode on, then I mean it's alright, it's comfortable enough. These seats are they're very supportive, they're not too over the top, like I think they're very decent in terms of everyday use and just general comfort and everything. They're very good seats. They're very, very well made. In terms of the interior, everything feels. This is I bought this car for $20,000, and it feels like what a $20,000 car from 2016 would feel like, especially a Volkswagen in this price bracket. So yeah, I mean, there's no complaints there. It's a very premium feeling interior for a car of this segment, so to say. What I'm going to do now is just turn sport mode back on, and yes, it is raining, but I will put the rear windows down just so you can hear a bit more of that exhaust. So it is just a resonator delete, but put down this window and you'll be able to. You can hear it a little bit. Maybe I'd want it to. If I put that window down a little bit, you might be able to hear it a little more. But I'll just give it a bit. So the car picks up. It definitely picks up quite quickly. It's a very, very quick car for what it is. It's just, yeah, unfortunate weather, so I won't be able to really give it a hit, but you'll be able to get an idea of how it feels around the corners and just my general thoughts on its driving capabilities. You can really throw this thing around the corners. It's just in the wet, it tends to spin up the front wheels quite a lot because it's a very light car. It's 1.2, 1.3 tons or something, so it's very light, and it's got 147 or 149, I can't remember. It's one of the two kilowatts at the wheel, so yeah, it's pretty powerful for the car that it is. I mean, literally drop a gear, foot down, like, it's very, very quick. Very, very quick. 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 in this car is 6.7 seconds. So I mean, it's not as good as a Golf GTI, but really, like, in a car of this size, it doesn't matter because it just feels so quick. I mean, this thing just throw it around corners and it just feels so solid. Up the gear, like, it's just such a solid feeling car. Like, some corners here, you just have absolute confidence when you throw it into a corner. Really push it, even in this rainy weather. Like, it, I mean, I can't really do it now because there is someone now in front of me, but you get what I mean. Like, this thing, you can really throw it around some corners, and it rarely slips out unless you're really on the edge. Then it won't slip. It's very solid. You've got complete control over it at pretty much all times, apart from obviously when you're taking off in rainy weather, because that's when it'll spin up the front wheels. It drives really well, and then when you're done, obviously giving it a bit of a hit, like, you just turn off sport mode, put the seat heater on if you must. Oh, sorry. I accidentally flushed the person in front of me. Got a frame, but I've also got a sussy barker in this car as well, which is nice. And then you can obviously open the sunroof if I must. This is a stupid idea on this day. Truly, this is such a great driving experience. The first time I ever drove this car, literally took it 4 seconds in, I'm like, yep, okay, it's mine. I want it. Like, this, I've heard a lot of other people who've reviewed this car, they complain that it's not as exciting as, say, a Ford Fiesta ST or I don't know, an i20N. An i20N is a more recent example, but that's meant to go up against maybe an AW Polo GTI, not so much the 6C Polo GTI, because after all, it is a little bit outdated now. Almost approaching, I don't know, 6 years since this car came out, which is actually pretty crazy, to be honest. But yeah, here's another twisty part of the road, so obviously I'm going to give it a little bit. I'll give it some around this, like, it begs you to drive it fast. Like, as soon as you start going, it's like, yeah, alright, keep going, please. Like, it's just, it drives so well. Because I used to have a Comfortline TSI Polo from 2016, and I was impressed with how stable that car felt. And then the GDI is just that, but amplified, and I absolutely love it. It's just so much fun to drive. So much fun. Yeah, and honestly, I would take it over a Golf GTI. I can say that with confidence. I have driven a Mark 7 GDI enough to really compare it to this, and quite honestly, yeah, I would take this. Is this the better car? No, by all means, the Golf GTI is the better car. Don't get me wrong, but the Polo GTI, for what it is, I prefer it. I think that the Polo GTI is the better car, in my opinion. It does everything I need it to do. It's better on fuel economy. I love it. I love this car to bits, and it's, yeah, I mean, that's my honest opinion on it. You want to buy this car to have a bit of fun with it, and fun it will provide. Don't even worry about that. It is a very fun car, and you've got novelties like Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. It's perfect. This is the perfect car for the money. I could not recommend this car more. It is such a good car, and especially with the manual, the 6-speed manual. Obviously, manuals are a dying breed as of current, so seriously, pick yourself up a 6C Polo GTI. You will not be disappointed at all, I promise you. What I'll do, approaching the end of this drive, is explain to you my actual plans for this car. So, I'm doing an APR Stage 1 tune. I think that's just necessary. Get the most power out of it that you can. Why are there people walking on the road? What are you doing? This is not a walkway. Do you want to get run over? Left on the scene. Ignore that. Anyway, so yeah, so APR Stage 1 coming soon. I'm not gonna do a crackle map. I'm gonna do a downpipe because you naturally get more crackles out of that apparently with the 6C Polo GTI. I just don't want it to be overkill because you see so many GTIs, they just overdo it with the full exhaust and the fully hectic crackles. Like, it's just, I don't want this car to be just your stereotypical Polo or Golf or any GTI. I just want it to be, you know, like, enough. I think the sound is perfect as is. I wouldn't make it any louder, I wouldn't make it any more quiet. I think it's a very suitable sound to the type of car that it is. So I'm not going to change anything apart from a downpipe. I'm not going full exhaust, just resonator, delete, downpipe. That's the exhaust sorted. APR stage 1, then I'm going to lower it on Bilstein suspension because I think it's a little bit too high for my liking, and lowering it on performance springs obviously improves handling, it obviously improves the aesthetics. It's very good. I'm going to recondition the wheels because obviously the previous owner scraped all of them so badly. So that'll happen. I don't really want to change the rims because I actually really like the stock wheels on this car. I think it really suits them. The Australian spec wheels anyway. Yeah, I know it's different overseas, but yeah, and then I might replace the windshield because the thing that does my head in with this particular car is the aftermarket windshield. Someone, obviously like the previous owner, cracked the original windshield and they went to some aftermarket company, and these are genuine Volkswagen wipers and they will not stop squeaking. Everything I have tried does not stop them squeaking, and I've narrowed it down to the windshield material. It's just, it's not ideal. But yeah, so those are my plans of the GTI. So now I think all that's left to do is include some exhaust clips.